Unionville, June the 1st, 1856. Dear cousin mine, you would really forgive the little ruse I played to get a letter from you if you knew the real pleasure of the unspeakable joy when I knew that I had a letter in my hand from Cousin Sarah. Oh, with what eagerness did my eyes run over those precious and interesting lines, so full of love and intelligence. Yes, dear Sarah, it done my heart good to read that letter, so much like yourself. It seemed as though I must turn around and see you sitting on that big chair chatting right merrily as of old. But lo, it was only imagination. Sarah was hundreds of miles away. Mountains, valleys, and rivers separate us. Yet it seems but a few days ago that I was in Troy there with you in your own dear home, enjoying pleasures that are never to be forgotten while life lasts. It is Sunday morning, and a very pleasant one, though most too cold for the first day of June. My fingers fairly ache with the cold while I am writing. We have not had any frost to do any hurt yet, but the gardens around the mountains has been this last week all cut down by it. We had an early pleasant spring, and oh how welcome after such a cold hard winter to see earth again, carpeted with green. Flowers coming forth to greet us with their loveliness, trees loaded with fruit, for there is a prospect now of being an abundance of all kinds. Farmers are done planting, but corn cannot grow much, I guess. We milk but 15 cows yet, and have not made much butter this spring. Although we have had enough to do, for hard work comes pretty tough on me this spring. I had plenty of arm and shoulder aches and chapped hands for a while. Oh, I almost wished myself back out west visiting you, but I have got used to it. You had better believe, and the old washing dress feels better than the tight whalebones I wore so long. Oh, Sarah, it would have done you good to see me when I got home. I took them by surprise. I did not write for them to meet me at the port, but trusted luck to get me home, which was the last day of February. It was late that night when we got back to Mr. Maker's, and I was very cold, but it was nothing when compared with the ride next day, for I thought I would freeze to death. That's so. We got to Elmira about 2 o'clock. I stayed there until Saturday when George and Maria Moody took me to Chemung to Willing Bennett's. I was there 3 weeks and to Oswego too. And dear Sarah, if I can only see you to tell you of my visit and what I see while there. Uncle Josiah moved to Binghamton this spring and works a very large farm. Uncle grown old very fast, but he acts part of the time very much like himself. If the same old tune, sixpence. I stopped to Susquehanna and stayed one night with Bennett Kimber. We have since that had a letter from there. Cousin Millicent Kimber, as used to be, is dead. Her husband's name is Charles Cole. She left but one child. I have been home 3 months and have been to church but once in all that time. The week before I came home, there was 2 or 3 pimples broke on my chin. It has kept spreading until it is nearly all over my face. It is very provoking, but I have got to put up with it. Mr. Grimley stays orange yet. They are repairing his house, a new kitchen, and I don't know what all else. Methinks I hear Will say, does the carpenter's board to Mr. Mathers? We have carpenters too. They are repairing the old barn and putting up a new granary. It come pretty tough to have strangers to work with. If Will's ears don't burn often, I'll wonder, for we often wish that he was here to do it. I believe that I have nothing new to tell you, Sarah. Erastus E. is married to the widow Howitt, but I dare say you have heard of this. Phoebe Decker has a young daughter, and they were all well a week ago. I was to Unionville yesterday, nothing new there but a milliner's shop kept by Miss Sarah Post of Unionville. I took my old thin straw hat there to have it done over, and got me a new gingham dress of Mr. Dennis Clark. Lewis Smith has sold out to D.C. I have scarcely room to tell you that we are all well, father's health being much the same as for years. We hear from Aunt Ann once in a while by letter. She writes that she enjoys herself first rate. We was through you, for they have never written us one word. Stop. Excuse me, I skipped a sentence. We was very glad to hear from your father and mother through you, for they have never written to us one word. I must close now for the want to room, thinking you will have to get a Troy lawyer to read this. I hope, dear S., you will receive this as a message of love and good wishes. My love to all, from your affectionate cousin, Lucretia Bennett. N.B. Please don't let me look only half as long this time. Sarah, give my love to Jane and tell her I would like to hear from her. Pamela is teaching school on the ridge above Westtown. She has a very large school, over 20 children, boards among the employers and likes it very much. Gets $9 a month, commenced the 14th of April.